Hello everybody and welcome back to the FPL Phillips YouTube channel.
Hold up.
The FPL Phillips to episode 6 of Eddie versus the Algorithm, where this week we're obviously going to be covering game week 6, the Algorithm team, and the team I put together each week to try and take on that team, a dream team if you like, to beat that team in that specific game week. And there's been a lot of controversy so far. Let's get into seeing who came out on top for game week 5 before we get on to game week 6. So yeah, quick recap. In goal, this is my team. I went with Edison, who got 8 points. My team was very similar to the Algorithms last week. I didn't make that many changes to it. I agree with a lot of the picks, but Edison got 8 points to Ray's 6, who the Algorithm went with. Obviously more expensive Edison, but yeah, he turned out coming through with that 8-pointer with the bonus. Obviously very nicely done, which we don't often see from the City Keeper, but I was going for it more for just the solid clean sheet. But yeah, the lovely little bonus that he added in there for us as well to get him a bit more than those 6 points of Raya. So we were off to a good start at the back, and in defence we went with the exact same back four that the Algorithm went with. It was Marcel, Semedo and Trent, who really let us down. Diaz came through again. 8 points, lovely score for the Man City defenders, both coming through for us. But then Trent obviously ruled out through illness, very unexpected, no one saw it coming. The Algorithm had Dennis on the bench who came through. However, I had Sissoko who did come through for me. So it wasn't too bad at all, it wasn't the end of the world. 2-pointer though compared to Dennis's 6. Wasn't absolutely brilliant. And yeah, I had Brandon Williams sat second on the bench, but the Algorithm had to use their second sub as well, who was Brandon Williams, and that was because in midfield the Algorithm went with Ferran Torres and Jack Grealish actually, but I decided to remove both Man City players. Instead, I went for Salah, Sarr, Jota and Rafinha. The Algorithm did have Salah and Sarr, and Salah captained, as you can see. However, Rafinha, going with him instead of Grealish or Ferran Torres, turned out to be the right choice, as Rafinha obviously grabbed that goal that he scored against Newcastle, which was a nice return for owners. So 8 points coming through there to the likes of Grealish, who only scored 3, and Ferran Torres, who didn't feature at all, meaning Brandon Williams' 0-pointer did feature for the Algorithm. But up front, if we look, Ronaldo and Bamford. So very solid choices. Ronaldo came through with 6 points for me. The Algorithm, of course, playing a 4-5-1 last week. So yeah, they had only Ronaldo up front. I decided to invest in Bamford as well, who did return with an assist, so not too bad at all. And yeah, the captain was obviously Mohamed Salah there. So in total, last week with this team, with the substitution made, my team scored 81 points in total, which I'm pretty happy with, to be honest. Obviously, I've got an advantage every week when I do this series. I would hope to be scoring quite a lot above the average. I expect some people in the FPL community will still do better than me. But yeah, I'm consistently scoring above what my own team is, so that depends on how good you judge my own team to be. But yeah, I'm pleased that I'm not absolutely car crashing anyway and getting all these decisions wrong, but it would be quite hard to, and there wouldn't be much of my reputation left if that was the case. But yeah, the Algorithm in total, with Torres not featuring, with Grealish only blanking, with Reyes 6 points to Edison's 8, and yeah, Bamford not playing for them in the 4-5-1. Dennis coming in with a 6-pointer, still only managed to grab the Algorithm 72 points. So it's a comfortable victory either way for this week, which does make it, so far, 3-2 in the series. So I've completed the comeback of dreams. Last time Ronaldo played Aston Villa at home at Old Trafford, it was 3-2, and I've made it 3-2 for Eddie versus the Algorithm this week. Can you tell I'm a United fan? I don't know. I saw the last time Ronaldo played against Villa, who were obviously playing this weekend. But yeah, pretty good performance. I'm very happy with that team from this week. But now let's get on to the exciting stuff, the preview and the Algorithm team for game week 6. So here we go, this is the one we're all waiting for. It is the Algorithm 11 team reveal for game week 6. And without further ado, let's jump straight into it and see who the Algorithm, the computer, has selected. It's been doing pretty well so far, so perhaps take a look for some of these players if you're eyeing up a replacement for the likes of Bamford, who were ruled out this week. Perhaps the Algorithm will have a striker not many of us have considered so far. Maybe it might do. But Begovic comes through in goal. A very amusing choice, but obviously Norwich at home is a very lovely fixture. Seems to be starting for Everton at the moment, and so yeah, I don't see any reason not to go with him if you want to save money at 4.0. No one's really making a transfer to bring in that keeper right now, but I could definitely see Everton keeping what will probably be their first clean sheet of the season, has it, or am I being mistaken? Either way, they've looked pretty poor defensively. Their expected goals against stats aren't brilliant, so yeah, Begovic is, I suppose, a brave pick. It's really targeting Norwich, I suppose, and Project Target Norwich actually continues as we move into defence, with Michael Keane starting off with, again, Norwich at home. I suspect there might be an Everton triple up on the cards here. Livramento against Wolves at home is someone quite a lot of people seem to own in their teams. Likewise with Duffy, who faces Crystal Palace away. And to be honest, I could see myself starting almost both of them this week in my team. I'm very, very tempted to put both of them in alongside Matt Ryan and get some real budget in my defence, especially if it means not making a transfer. I could potentially just bench Bamford for Livramento, who I'm not currently starting at the moment. And that may be a way to go. If a lot of you have Livramento and you're hectically trying to take Bamford out, there aren't that many brilliant replacements. There aren't any standout ones unless you took out Antonio. So playing Livramento is certainly not something I'm opposed to, and I probably will be doing it myself this game week if I decide to roll the transfer. But yeah, in midfield there are other issues. Salah, Fernandes, Greenwood, Gray and Sarr make up the algorithm team. A lot of people owning the players such as Torres. Rafinha's recently been ruled out injured and is currently undergoing assessment ahead of the game. So we're not going to know for certain for Bielsa whether Rafinha is fit or not. He said the same thing with Ayling if you're interested in that. But let's touch on the midfield here. Salah, Fernandes and Greenwood is very interesting. I'm assuming that Ronaldo will be up front. So Fernandes and Greenwood with Ronaldo as a triple up is a very brave call, a triple up on any team. You know, Aston Villa at home is a lovely fixture for Man United. I can see them scoring quite a few goals, but having all three of them is a bold call for the algorithm. And yeah, I'll be having a look and researching which midfielders I may want to go with instead. But two of them are already in there really. Demarai Gray, again with that Norwich at home, does complete that Everton triple up. And Sarr, who coming off the back of a 15-pointer last week, faces Newcastle at home. A very, very nice fixture for Watford, that one. So yeah, very, very strong midfield five. Greenwood, I think, will start this week. I've seen a bit of controversy about, should you get off Greenwood? Really don't think ditching Greenwood is this time. Definitely not. He was rested in midweek. He did come on, obviously, but Sancho started the game. I think that Greenwood will be the one starting, even ahead of Sancho, if it means one of them getting benched. But obviously, both can play if Pogba isn't deployed on that left-hand flank. So yeah, I really do like Greenwood as a pick, and as this week, as the algorithm has gone with, I think he's a really great pick, and I would definitely be holding him if I was making a buy, sell, keep, or hold, avoid video, whatever order it is going to be in these days. Every channel is doing one of them at this point. But yeah, lovely midfield for the algorithm. I'd be interested to see who the captaincy option is. But yeah, Ronaldo up front, as I suspected, with Mikel Antonio. So yeah, a very, very nice looking 3-5-2 with a lot of budget this week spent in the attack. And normally the algorithm seems to have a bit more of a premium defence. But with the likes of, Chelsea, Spurs, City all facing difficult fixtures, it seems that the algorithms finally come and gone with the budget. And let's have a look at the bench, speaking of budget. It's Foster against Newcastle at home, who may well start again. Armstrong, who's facing Wolves. So yeah, £6 million forward on the bench. Could be a nice replacement for Bamford, actually. He was one of the ones I was thinking of in terms of name. Veltman and Manquillo there as well. And so, Manquillo, Duffy, Livramento, these are players who were 4.0 at the start of the season. Manquillo's even scored a goal so far this year. Livramento and Duffy have looked excellent and are nailed on as we speak. Duffy will probably be the first one to lose his spot, but Livramento looks nailed for the rest of the season really, and with Southampton having some decent little fixture runs coming up, he could even be deployed. So if you're going for a wild card in Game Week 7 or 8, I would probably recommend having him as your kind of 4.0 or just above option. But let's have a look at the captaincy pick. Who has the algorithm gone with? I suspect, and yes, it is Cristiano Ronaldo who takes the armband at home to Aston Villa. The last time Manchester United played Aston Villa, it was 3-2, as I just mentioned. And so, yeah, Ronaldo scored 2 goals in that game. You might remember, if you've seen the highlights, that was the game where Makeda scored that last-minute goal. Yeah, I'm blabbing on about United too much. But, yeah, interesting topic at hand. I'm throwing it off. Having to change this team so that I can try and score more points in it this week. It's going to be a very, very difficult task. I'm arguably at the point where I'm not even convinced there are many changes at all I would want to make. But yeah, I will have a bit of a look around. I will perhaps consider maybe ditching Fernandes and come back to you with what I've got for Eddie's 11 to take on the algorithm for Game Week 6. And here is what I've gone with to take on the algorithm 11 this week. Not a lot of changes, as you can see. Duffy has been demoted to the bench as the first one, and in comes Trent Alexander-Arnold, which admittedly is my little bit of a risk this week. Obviously ruled out with illness last week, but I'm assuming he'll be okay. And it just seems too good not to have Trent. Brentford have looked decent, but he can always bring in, a 12-pointer or a 15-pointer, and I think that could really give me the edge over the algorithm this week. I've also gone with some Semedo, so spent a bit bit more at the back than the algorithm has, and having the likes of Duffy and Michael Keane. I didn't choose to go with a double up on the Everton defence, but I have kept the 2 4.0 keepers. I think that's quite a cool tactic to go with this week, especially as I've kind of got the unlimited transfers thing. Not a lot of people will be doing that, and if you're on a wild card, I wouldn't recommend it. But yeah, whilst they're both playing, definitely good options, and their Foster's on the bench for standby. If Backward is still ruled out, Salah, Gray, Sarr all retain their place in midfield. However, I have gone and brought in Said Benrahma, of course, coming off the back of another goal last week, which was debatably not a goal, but yeah, still a goal against Manchester United, and doubling up on that Leeds defence just seems too good to be true. They've got Bamford ruled out now, Rafinha's a doubt, Ayling could be a knock. They already had a lot of defenders missing, and so it could be an absolute slaughter, that West Ham game, and I'm hoping that it is for the sake of my team with Benrahma and Antonio, and I've gone with both of them and stick with faith in them in this team as well. So yeah, hopefully that's a slaughter against Leeds, so no room for Bamford or Rafinha, obviously, in the algorithm 11 this week. I will probably still be benching Bamford in my personal team, but yeah, you can check out my team selection video over on my channel, which will be coming in the next day. So yeah, Ronaldo, Antonio, and then I've gone with a bit of a differential pick, and I've gone with Lukaku up front, who obviously faces Man City, and that'll be quite a big part of the reason why the algorithm hasn't gone for him. But this is partly gut feeling, I will admit, and partly just how good Romelu Lukaku is and how good Chelsea have been so far this season. Man City haven't looked the best team at the back, but yeah, they have looked very, very solid anyway in terms of XG against, all that kind of stuff, which will be why the algorithm isn't choosing to go with any Chelsea attackers. But I've picked Romelu Lukaku. I think I'm just going with him for his talent, his hold-up play. He looks fantastic. Obviously, this is more of an eye test thing, and I think if Chelsea get a goal, which I'm hoping they do, probably more than one, then Lukaku will be involved with one, if not two of them. So it could be another haul for the Belgian this week, and I'm hoping that he doesn't go ahead and blank 2 game weeks in a row, because there's not many premiums that do that too often. You know, Bruno had that fantastic stat where he hadn't blanked 2 game weeks in a row almost the entirety of last season until the last couple game weeks or so. But we don't often get that with Salah. I'm assuming we won't be getting that with Ronaldo either, and Ronaldo does retain the captaincy. That's almost a no-brainer this week, isn't it? I could see that being a very high-scoring game at home for United. I'm a bit worried about not having Fernandes or Greenwood, but I really think that it's the best decision to go for. They could both return if you have either of them, if you own either of them. I would not be selling them this week, probably, unless it is to get in Cristiano Ronaldo up front, would probably be my only exception, but you can only really do that by taking Bruno out. So yeah, hold on to Greenwood would be my advice, hold on to Bruno as well, and if you're lucky, this could be a 6-0 to United. I'm going to the game on Saturday, so I'm hoping that it is as well, to be honest, even though it may mean me taking a bit of an L this week. But 3-2, we can afford to take a few knocks, we can afford to take a few risks. Let's see if I can get that 2-0 lead over the algorithm, so a 2-goal lead or 2-point lead, whatever you want to call it, and get that bit of a cushion for the rest of the season. It will be absolutely incredible scenes if I come out on top of it. I'll be very, very impressed with myself. When I was 2-0 down 2 game weeks in, I was a bit worried, but we've managed to pull it back, and I'm quite pleased with that alone, to be honest. So yeah, thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you're new around here, subscribe to the FPL Fix channel. Make sure to also hit that notification bell down below. You can like the video as well if you've enjoyed, and if you want to see a bit more of me, you can go ahead and check out my personal channel, FPL Phillips, down in the description, along with the other great presenters down over here on Fantasy Football Fix, FPL Raptor and FPL Nacho. So yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you have enjoyed, and let me know down below who you think is going to come out on top this week. Is it going to be Eddie, or is it going to be the algorithm? I'm interested to know, because a lot of you thought the algorithm was going to beat me last week, but I came through. Let's see what you're saying this week. I'll catch you later. See you down in the comments. Goodbye.